Update for those who don't follow me on Twitter. Shame on you. Follow me on Twitter. I'm a funny guy. I didn't have to legally move out at the time I made the last video, but the landlady signed up with a property management company that did a much better job of making it impossible for me to stay there and gave me a vacate notice to be out in like a week, and that was backbreaking. I spent every day moving shit, and thank goodness my car can haul an astonishing amount of shit. Alright, can we talk for a minute about how much fucking shit this car can haul? Fucking shito. This is not a truck. It was not meant to be a truck, but you can haul truck-like quantities of shit in the back of this automobile. I just about moved everything in 6 trips, and I am now completely done. I washed my hands of that place. This is my life now. Welcome to my humble pit of failure. Everybody told me to do this, so I did, and it was good advice. Now I'll be able to pay down my debt to the tax man without having to beg you guys for any more money than you already give me, which will now be ample since I have fuck all in the way of living expenses. I'll talk about that later in this video. And it'll free up more money for the Hampture project, which you should now see more return on per dollar. Real talk? Come a little bit closer. 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 No, you fool! What are you doing? That's too close! Okay, yeah, that's good. That's exactly the kind of closeness I'm looking for. So I did this because it was what was right for the project and what was right for my life, but I fucking hate it. I feel really bad. I appreciate your advice. I took it. This is my life now. Hopefully this all works out as expected, and I can save money towards a more permanent living solution that doesn't eat up nearly all my income. I hope so. I'm trying to stay hopeful, man, otherwise I'll ugly cry. Anyway, here's what you came to see. Food. Check. Wheel. Check. Fresh litter. Check. Water. Check. Y'all ready to see some fucked up shit? It begins! Looks like I didn't get all of the dead algae debris out of there. That'll mostly settle down once it's been sitting for a while. But I've also still got the filter. I can buy some new filter cartridges for that and run that for a while, and that should remove most of the small debris. It was just overwhelmed before. No idea what happened to the fake aquarium plants. I'll have to buy some new ones. I think the... shut up, birds! I think the algae should not be a problem going forward. I soaked all the gravel in hydrogen peroxide, hydrogen chloride, hydrogen something, in a bucket for like 5 days. And I wiped down the inside of the aquarium with it. This is long after letting all the algae die of its own accord. So whatever other problems I have, I don't think algae overgrowth is going to be one going forward, which is good because that was the only real show-stopping issue before. I'd like to take this moment to thank all my patrons who haven't withdrawn at the end of the month, as often happens. I'm now down to 1070 from a high of 1,300, over 1,300. So I've lost quite a bit of patrons, which, you know, that's fair. I haven't put out a video in a while. My life has kind of been hectic as I've had to spend all my time and energy moving. That's going to be quite a lot of money now that I don't really have any expenses to speak of beyond car insurance and, of course, paying the government. And one of the big reasons I chose to just swallow my pride and live here is that this way you guys can help me pay off that debt without me having to beg for a lump sum in addition to what you already give me, like Darkside Phil and other people I could mention. Not to throw shade, he has a good show. I can understand you know, being in the same shoes of having an unexpected tax debt, why he might have done that. But I personally don't want to resort to that when there's options where I get fucked instead of my fans. So as long as we can keep that Patreon up, it goes down at the end of the month. I just have to win some of those followers back every month somehow to keep it at a relatively stable level. And some of you are just diehard fans who will support me no matter what, and I love you guys, and you know who you are. I'll name you if you drop me a line on Twitter and say you want to be specifically named, but I don't want to go around doxing people in my videos, so it's almost there. Look at that habitat up there waiting for me to do a science to it. It is now time to choose the impossible all over again. And with this, a new golden age of underwater hamsterology begins. 5 seconds underwater, and he's already trashed everything. That's Jim in there. Jade got all the glory with the Hamcopter flight. I thought I would give Jim a shot at being the first. He's really determined to get through that hatch. You can tell there's something on the other side. I don't think it's what he expects, though. He's already kicked up a lot of litter to get underneath the running wheel, which is a sort of shelter. He fucking loves doing that. Why? Mysterious hamster reasons. It's not for us to know. Filter's still working on the water. It's kind of nasty in there still. It's been a while. Seals are holding up. Despite the major additions to the habitat structure, it's as watertight in the aquarium as it was in the tub. Which it should be. Depth should not matter for a positive pressure habitat. The only thing that changes is the air pressure inside to match the increasing water pressure with depth. If it holds up 1 foot down, it'll hold up 1,000 feet down. He's hype as fuck. Which you would be if a giant pink alien scooped you up and put you in an underwater base. Not too hyped to forego personal grooming. Gotta make time for that. After you've been handled by a smelly human. And I am smelly. Still moving. Well, I'm moving shit around the house. I'm done with the old house. I'm completely done with it. I've moved all my shit out. I cleaned up everything. Jesse did fuck all. I can't get money from him to pay for the last month's electrical or water bills, or internet for that matter. Once he had his deposit back, he was just out of there. And I was left looking the fool. That's on me for being trusting. I don't want to stop being trusting, though. You can't let other people change you. You gotta be who you want to be. Not because other people are good, but because you are. Really looks like shit in there. It's gonna improve. Everything's just gotta settle into some semblance of normalcy again. As normal as you could possibly call hamsters living underwater, I mean. You can see there's ample room in here for up to 3 of these. I might want to build 3 copies of this habitat just for use in this aquarium, so I can have an aquarium set up at the same time as I have a setup out in the lake, and also so I can use proper fittings for the one in the aquarium that are 1 1/4 inch diameter, so they'll be as compact as possible, which is really important in a space limited environment like this tank. But yeah, 2 at least will fit in here, maybe 3. You'd have to have shorter tunnels, though. You'd have to have mini tunnels. You wouldn't get as much pleasure out of watching the hamsters go between the habitats, because it would last like 1 second. Probably only an inch of clear vinyl in between the 2 fittings. If I want to fit 3. If I fit 2, and I'm happy with just 2, I can have a somewhat longer tunnel. We'll start with 2. How's that? And I'll record the process of connecting and purging and everything as a simulation of what it will be like when I do this in a lake or pond. Speaking of which, the lake trip is coming up. As it does every summer, I'm going to go to Lake Vermilion, which means I'll have a large body of natural water in which to potentially test out megahab. It'll just be the bare habitat shell. I don't have it fleshed out inside yet. But I'll be able to verify that even when completely submerged, when it's under positive pressure, that it's a watertight vessel. That'll necessitate taking the entire habitat with me, which is going to be kind of dicey considering how much room we usually use up with luggage. But the car has a rooftop carrier, so you know, it didn't have that last time we went. In fact, I don't think I had my car last time we went. This should work out. You'll get to see megahab in a natural underwater environment. I'll have to get a waterproof GoPro or something. I think I have a waterproof camera up at the lake. It's just I don't know where the battery charger is. I'll have to track that down as well, or buy the GoPro. Spending so much fucking money on shit. I thought I was going to save money moving out, but whenever you move, there's all these hidden costs of new shit you need. I don't even have a real mattress yet. I'm still sleeping on the emergency folding mattress. Just as I can't transport one with my car, and I am not yet settled in enough to order one on Amazon or some shit. What do you think, Jim? The glass is all fucky just because I just wiped it down. It'll get more optically clear as the water settles. It's been a long road, man. Ever since I completed stage 1 of Hampture, which was just 4 habitats in the same aquarium, and people started to say, what about tunnels? What about tunnels connecting them? As if it was such a simple problem to solve. It started this huge long chain of events. And this whole chapter of my life is leading up to solving the simple, seemingly simple problem of how to connect the habitats to each other. But now it's solved. Now I'm back where I have an aquarium to put habitats into, and it's close at hand in a controlled environment, so I can live stream it. So you can all watch the process of gradually growing this little mini colony. And then I'll use that as a test bed and practice for the proper colony in a lake or pond. And for those of you asking, where's the live stream? Why aren't you already live streaming this? The internet situation is more complicated here. I don't control it. My dad does. He's got all sorts of weird security shit. He's very security conscious. That makes it difficult to do live streaming video. I need to talk to him and coordinate and have him whitelist Twitch and forward the port that it needs. And then wait for him to get around to it, which is going to be after the 4th or 5th time I remind him. Gross. Lab assistant Cat001 has just joined us and is rubbing against my back. She loves to watch this shit. She's mesmerized by it, and I can't imagine what goes through her head. Well, come here. Yeah, you have a strange caretaker, don't you? She's like the only voice of reason in my life. Just looking at the shit and shaking her head slowly. Even the cat knows that something is amiss. But this is what you can look forward to. Well, it'll look better than this. By the time I'm live streaming this aquarium, it'll have much clearer water because the filter will have had time to work and everything will have settled, and then I can start the process of constructing additional habitats of this size. Go away. And linking them together in the aquarium and live streaming them to my Twitch 24/7 so you can watch underwater hamsters going about their everyday business. Their vitally important underwater hamster business. Whatever that may be. Oh yeah, I just remembered. That explains it. He's confused as fuck because this is the first time he's been underwater. Besides the... Oh yeah, no, the one in the tunnel was Jade, wasn't it? This must be blowing his mind. Eventually he'll settle in, they all do, and accept his fate as a pioneer on the blue frontier of the underwater world of Jacques Cousteau. That litter was all nice and even when I started. Now look what he's done. This is your world now. There's no way out that you would like the results of. It's going to be doubly cool though when I get another one of these built and in the tank and hook it up via the port. There's just enough room that I can open the hatch with extending the handles backwards and still have like an inch or two of space between the front side of each habitat and the wall of the aquarium, which looks a little bit funky, but as long as there's enough room, then we'll have a true colony because it will be more than one habitat. It won't just be the one habitat anymore. And you'll be able to see tunnels in use underneath a whopping, what is that, 2.5 feet of water? Not Challenger deep, but also nothing to sneeze at. It's a pretty good proof of concept. And it's deep enough that they're really properly underwater and living their lives. Strong, independent hamsters. Who don't need no corn wheel? I don't know. That joke was going somewhere. I think I lost track. Man, what am I doing with my life? And this is a textbook cry for help, isn't it? But instead of an intervention, a bunch of people from the internet have gathered around me, looking over my shoulder like, what the fuck is that? I don't know, but let's throw money at him and see what he does. Did you like that video? You did? Well, stop. Talk to someone. Get help. But also, snag some of my merch. The link or product shelf should be underneath this video. Anyway, that's all for this time. I'm gonna go masturbate.